Today we're going to talk about some of the most famous UFO sightings that happened right here in Hollywood and the greater Los Angeles area. These aren't stories from some remote desert town or far-off farmland. These happened right in the middle of one of America's biggest cities, with millions of people as potential witnesses. From mysterious lights over busy freeways to strange objects caught on film by regular folks going about their day, Los Angeles has been home to some truly remarkable UFO encounters that have puzzled investigators for decades. Los Angeles sits in a huge basin in Southern California, surrounded by mountains and stretching from the coast to the desert. It's been the center of the movie industry since the early 1900s, when filmmakers moved west to take advantage of the sunny weather and open spaces. The city grew rapidly during World War II, as defense contractors set up shop, building planes and rockets for the war effort. With all those military installations, busy airports, and millions of people looking up at the sky, it's no wonder that LA has had more than its fair share of strange sightings over the years. Let's start with the granddaddy of all Los Angeles UFO cases. It happened on February 25, 1942, just a few months after Pearl Harbor brought America into World War II. The whole West Coast was on edge, worried about Japanese attacks. Just the day before, a Japanese submarine had actually shelled an oil refinery near Santa Barbara, so people had good reason to be nervous. Around 2:30 in the morning, air raid sirens started wailing across Los Angeles County. Something had showed up on radar about 120 miles west of the city. Within an hour, searchlights were sweeping the sky, and anti-aircraft guns started firing. For almost 2 hours, military units pumped over 1,400 shells into the dark sky above Los Angeles. Thousands of people came out of their houses to watch. They saw the searchlights all focused on something in the sky, something that seemed to just hang there while explosions burst all around it. The Los Angeles Times published a dramatic photo the next day, showing all those searchlights pointing at what looked like a large oval object floating above the city. But here's where it gets weird. The Navy said the whole thing was a false alarm, that there was nothing up there at all. The Army disagreed, saying they definitely saw enemy aircraft. No wreckage was ever found, no bombs fell. The Japanese later said they never sent any planes over Los Angeles that night. So what were all those people looking at? What was bright enough and big enough to draw the fire of dozens of anti-aircraft batteries? Some folks think it was just a case of wartime nerves, and maybe some weather balloons that got people spooked. Others point to that famous photograph and say it clearly shows something solid in the sky. UFO researchers call it one of the first major modern UFO incidents, happening 5 years before the famous Roswell case that really got people talking about flying saucers. The Battle of Los Angeles, as people call it now, happened before anyone had even heard the term flying saucer. That wouldn't come along until 1947. But looking back, it has all the elements that would become familiar in later UFO reports. Mysterious objects that seem immune to military weapons, official confusion and conflicting statements, and lots of witnesses who swear they saw something extraordinary. Jump ahead to the summer of 1965, and we get another classic California UFO case. This one happened in broad daylight on a busy afternoon near Santa Ana, just south of Los Angeles. Rex Heflin was working as a highway accident investigator for Orange County. He was driving his work truck around 12:30 in the afternoon when he spotted something strange hovering over the road ahead of him. Heflin grabbed his Polaroid camera, the kind he used to document accident scenes, and quickly snapped 3 photos of what he described as a hat-shaped metallic object about 30 feet across. He said it had a dark band around the middle and seemed to be rotating. As he watched, the thing shot away at incredible speed, leaving behind a dark ring of smoke or vapor that he managed to photograph as well. What makes Heflin's case special is that he got clear, close-up photos in good lighting conditions. These weren't fuzzy dots of light or blurry shapes. The pictures show what definitely looks like a structured craft, with details you can make out. Heflin said his truck radio went dead during the sighting, but worked fine afterward, something that would become a common detail in later UFO reports. The photos were examined by photo experts at United Press International, who said they appeared genuine. The military took copies for analysis. But then something strange happened. A few weeks later, 2 men claiming to be from NORAD, the North American Air Defense Command, showed up at Heflin's house. They asked to borrow the original photos, promising to return them quickly. Heflin never saw those originals again, and when researchers called NORAD, they denied sending anyone or having any interest in the photos. For years, skeptics claimed the photos showed a small model suspended by string. But when computer experts re-examined the pictures in the 1990s, they found no evidence of strings or wires. They did find details that seemed to support Heflin's story, including what looked like a beam of light coming from the bottom of the object, and particulate matter trailing behind it as it moved. Throughout the 1960s and 70s, UFO reports kept coming in from all over the Los Angeles area. Witnesses included airline pilots, police officers, and even some Hollywood celebrities. The National UFO Reporting Center, which keeps track of sightings nationwide, shows that Los Angeles County has logged nearly 3,000 UFO reports since they started keeping records in the 1940s. Some of the most interesting cases involved multiple witnesses seeing the same thing from different locations. In 1975, dozens of people called police and news stations to report a bright object moving slowly across the sky over the San Fernando Valley. It was visible for almost an hour, giving people plenty of time to get a good look. Some described it as cigar-shaped, others said it looked more like a triangle. Airport radar picked up an unidentified target in the same area. The 1990s brought what UFO researchers call the Topanga Canyon wave. For several months, residents of this area in the Santa Monica Mountains reported seeing strange lights and objects on a regular basis. Topanga sits between Malibu and the San Fernando Valley, an area that's still pretty wild despite being surrounded by the city. People reported seeing triangular objects with lights at each corner, sometimes moving silently overhead at very low altitude. One witness was driving home late one night when he said a huge triangular craft passed directly over his car. He described it as bigger than a football field, completely silent and so low he felt like he could almost touch it. Other residents reported seeing the same type of object hovering over the canyon for minutes at a time, before shooting away at incredible speed. What made the Topanga sightings unusual was how consistent they were. Different witnesses, on different nights, described very similar objects. Many were longtime residents who knew the area well and could tell the difference between normal aircraft and something unusual. Some were pilots themselves, including a commercial airline captain who said what he saw defied everything he knew about conventional aircraft. The Los Angeles area is also home to several major airports and military installations, which adds another layer to the UFO mystery. Los Angeles International Airport (LAX) is one of the busiest airports in the world. Air traffic controllers there have occasionally reported tracking objects that don't behave like normal aircraft. In one case from the 1980s, controllers watched an unidentified target on radar that seemed to be pacing a commercial airliner for several minutes before suddenly accelerating and disappearing. Edwards Air Force Base, about an hour northeast of Los Angeles, has been the site of numerous UFO reports over the years. This is where the military tests experimental aircraft, so you might expect some unusual sightings. But witnesses have reported objects performing maneuvers that seem beyond anything in the known inventory, making right-angle turns at high speed, hovering motionless for long periods, then accelerating to incredible velocities in seconds. One of the most credible Edwards cases involved multiple air traffic controllers and radar operators who tracked an object for over 30 minutes in 1965. The object appeared to be about the size of a conventional aircraft, but moved in ways that conventional aircraft simply cannot. It would hover for minutes, then shoot across the sky faster than any jet, make impossible turns, and return to hover in a completely different location. Recent years have brought new attention to UFO sightings in the Los Angeles area, partly because of advances in technology. Now everyone carries a camera in their pocket, and social media makes it easy to share sightings instantly. The problem is, with so many conventional aircraft, satellites, and other man-made objects in the sky, it's harder than ever to figure out what's truly unexplained. In 2020, several residents of different LA neighborhoods reported seeing a line of bright lights moving across the sky in perfect formation. Social media lit up with videos and photos of the mysterious objects. It turned out to be a string of SpaceX Starlink satellites, which can look pretty strange if you don't know what they are. These satellites have probably explained a lot of recent UFO reports, not just in Los Angeles but all over the world. But that doesn't mean all the sightings have simple explanations. In 2019, Navy pilots flying off the coast of California encountered objects that seemed to demonstrate technology far beyond anything publicly known. These encounters were captured on military camera systems and eventually released to the public. The objects appeared to move at incredible speeds, change direction instantly, and perform maneuvers that would destroy any conventional aircraft. What makes these cases particularly interesting is that they involved trained military observers using sophisticated equipment. These pilots know what conventional aircraft look like and how they behave. When they say they saw something extraordinary, people tend to pay attention. These cases don't prove that alien spacecraft are visiting Earth. There could be other explanations. Secret military projects, natural phenomena we don't understand yet, or even hoaxes that have fooled investigators. But they do suggest that something genuinely mysterious has been happening in the skies over Los Angeles for many decades. As technology continues to advance, we're likely to get better evidence one way or another. More sophisticated cameras and sensors might finally capture clear, unambiguous footage of a UFO. Or they might reveal that these mysterious objects have perfectly ordinary explanations that just weren't obvious before. Until then, the Los Angeles area will probably continue to be a hotspot for UFO reports. With its clear skies, huge population, and history of unusual sightings, it's a place where people expect to see strange things in the sky. Whether those expectations lead to more actual sightings, or just more misidentifications, is something we'll probably debate for years to come. The important thing for researchers is to approach each case with an open but critical mind. Not every light in the sky is an alien spacecraft, but not every UFO report can be dismissed as simple misidentification either. The truth, as they say, is probably somewhere in between, and Los Angeles seems to be a pretty good place to look for it. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe.